Hey everyone, welcome back to the I Just Teach Here podcast with Jess and Sabria. It's been a long time. This is a podcast where you get a snippet into the lives and thoughts of teachers where we don't make the rules, we just teach here. Like literally, I had to think really hard about that because we have not filmed an episode in what seems like forever.
It's been a minute. We took
It's
a
been a
break.
lot of minutes,
We're
maybe a
back.
couple of hours.
Yeah.
We're
took a
back,
break.
but like
Yeah.
we are on like end of the school year mode
Oh, for
where
sure.
teachers are kind of just shells.
Yeah. We're in the middle of testing right now.
We're working really hard, like
Mhm.
really hard.
Like at Wordle,
Bananagrams.
bananagrams. You know what I'm saying?
I know what
The
you're
tough
saying.
stuff. The
I
tough
mean,
stuff.
I live this life with you every single day.
It's all about the mental health is what I'll say. Our kids are mentally happy. So
They are.
We're
That's
doing-
what's
we're-
important.
it is. I agree with you. So today we are going to talk about things that, and shall we sing it together? Drive us crazy.
I just can't sleep. You're so excited. You get to hear what drives us crazy. Yeah.
Yes, we're going to talk about the things that drive us crazy. Honestly, Brittany was a big part of my life. I'm so happy for her. Good for you, girl.
She's living her best life. Good for her. She was a big part of all of our lives. I just love her so much.
I'm so happy.
That's why we
for her.
had to name this after her.
All right. So in true teacher form, we broke up everything that drives us crazy into categories just so that we're focused. So our first category, Jess, why don't you start? We're going to talk about what drives us crazy about meetings.
Like, what doesn't drive us crazy about meetings, honestly?
Just the meeting.
Thank
you.
Meetings can be an email.
Yeah.
So like, I'm just wondering why we have to have these meetings. And now I will have to say that our school, well, I guess most schools, like it's not like you can get out of it because we're required to have these times where we're meeting together. So I'm like, why? I have so much to do. Like, I don't want to do things. I don't want to sit in a meeting where it could have literally been a nice, well organized, thought out email.
Mm-hmm.
It's annoying.
But meetings low key are kind of where people love to throw out the shade, if you will. I'm not going to say which people, but some people do. And I'm just wanting to know, like, who are people throwing shade at? I need to know. I need to find out.
It's so true. Like there's like passive aggressive things that are said, like, oh, if you are going outside during your prep, don't do it. Who's doing it?
Who is
doing it?
I want to know who
texting
did it.
each other. Who is it?
And who went to the bank on the prep?
Literally, Sabria and I text each other, but we both know the same things because we're both like only hang out with each other. So we don't know. Somebody tell us who's going to the bank during our prep.
Yeah, like you said, it's just super passive aggressive. So that's something that drives me crazy. I'm going to put that there is the passive aggressiveness. Like, honestly, just call the people out at this point. We're all adults. Like, Jennifer, you were at the freaking bank during your prep. Stop doing that.
I know.
Okay,
just
Jennifer,
like address them one-on-one.
Yeah.
You don't have to send out a whole email because you know what? Then the thing is, like, I feel guilty now. I feel guilty about things that I don't do. I'm like, wait, did I walk in the hallway during my prep and it was not okay? You know, like
it's like you're making yourself visible on your preps. Like, hi, I'm here. It's my prep.
I'm here. I'm doing something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I agree. I get that random guilt, like that I shouldn't even be feeling because I don't leave the building on my prep. But yeah, the passive aggressiveness, I feel like needs to go. Like, whoever did it, just speak with them. They're trying to really like at that person. And meanwhile, that person's probably like sweating.
Doesn't even know it's them.
or they have no clue. They're just like, nope, nobody saw me do that. We're all adults. It feels like a bit like how we talk to our students, you know, we're adults. Just go talk to them, tell them not to go to the bank on their prep. It's like,
yeah, honestly, done. Like if my student is doing something wrong, I tell them straight to their face.
100%. 100%. Yeah. It's not, we're like, not playing a guessing game here.
Now that I'm thinking about it, sometimes I'm like, ooh, it's not good if we like, I will say things like that, but then I'll call them right out. I'll be like, ooh, sometimes it's nice when we pick up after ourselves. Right, Sabria?
Yeah, but then sometimes they don't get it, right? Yeah. And then you're like, Jonathan, pick up your stuff.
Talking about you.
Yeah.
But
What's
also
another one?
like when it comes to that kind of realm of like, like feeling kind of some sort of way, like maybe it's our school, maybe it's other schools. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But like getting shout outs, like I
Ooh.
literally hate it. Like even when I'm shouted out, I hate it. Like, number one, it makes me feel uncomfortable and awkward. Number two, like, don't put my business out there. And number three, like, it makes people feel bad, like they're not doing enough. And I mean, when I hear it and I'm like, wait, I do that too. Or wait, like, it makes people feel some kind of way, They think it's like bringing people together, but
Mm,
it's not. It
mm.
I feel like that kind of adds like, it makes people like want to compete against each other. And I feel like that is the wrong thing to do. Tell it if you have to shout someone out, go tell them one on one.
I
Like
agree. Again,
you don't need to do that.
another thing you can go ahead and do a one-on-one for. Don't call out a couple of people, especially if it tends to be the same people. And if you must, make an effort to see some new people.
You should talk
Anything.
about the family talk.
Oh my gosh, that's so me. Okay. So I don't know if it's like this in other schools, but is it at every school where everyone's like, you're like my family.
Fam.
Stop it right now. You're not
And
like my
I'm like, it's so bad because you're like on the complete opposite spectrum as me
100%.
because I was on the social committee for so many years. I'm like, from your school family.
To me, it's just fake. Like there are definitely like a handful of people and at our school that I'm like, those are my girls, those are my family. But
Like
like when
who? No, I'm just kidding. Just
I have
say
like
my
a
name.
hand,
Say my
literally
name.
five.
Say my name.
Um, so
Shout
with
me out.
that, yes, but it just feels fake. Like the
It
whole
feels phony.
family thing, especially when admin throws out the word family. I'm like, stop it. You're sitting here calling us out for going to the bank on our prep. Like, relax.
Maybe families are shady too.
Some families are shady. So maybe we are like a shady little family. The reason why it irritates me goes with the favoritism that happens in school, even amongst coworkers on, we say family, but are we inclusive of everybody? So I'll just
True.
leave it
True.
there with
Although I
that.
will say during COVID, I did feel like a family. Okay,
Yeah.
last thing that drives me nuts, I mean, drives me crazy, is the person that always asks the questions. And I know that this is like not just like school meetings. I'm sure that every meeting of every kind in the corporate world and the non have a person like this. But there are like a handful of people literally that just you're like, I just want this meeting to be over. And they're like, oh, excuse me, I have a question. Oh,
Yeah.
excuse me, I have a question. Like, lady or gentleman, like, I just want this to end. Can you just email them or just meet them afterwards? Like,
Yeah.
it's too much.
But it always comes after those long drawn out meetings where you're kind of like falling
Is this
asleep
over?
and your eyes rolling in the back of your head. And then they have another question. You're just trying to get out of there, or trying to go to the bathroom. It's always like a thing. And then they have that person never just has one question, right? There's always a follow up question to their
It's like a
question.
question within a question within a question.
Yeah.
It's like
And I'm like,
Inception.
just at the end of meetings, maybe they should, instead of saying, does anyone have any questions? It
Feel
should
free to
be,
leave if anyone wants to stay and
feel
have
free
questions.
free to leave. Yeah. And if anybody has anything else they want to say, you guys can come up here. But they
Now you
force us to
know.
like sit there.
That's what
Now
you should do
we got a lot of advice for admins out
for
there.
everyone.
Let's get into our
My hair looks so frizzy. Is it?
no, it looks voluminous. My hair looks flat
Frizzy.
because I just came from the gym. Sorry, guys. Didn't do it. I mean, if you're listening to it, then you're not going to see it. But yes. Our next topic of conversation is the bathroom. Take it away, miss.
Bathroom etiquette. Oof.
Why are we talking about this with adults, first of all? Tell
It,
me.
I don't know. So, to paint this picture for those of you
Oh,
that are not in the teaching realm, well, I'm not painting any pictures of girls, but anyway, for those of you that are not teachers, in our school, we have, I think, 3 adult bathrooms. Is it? One, two, three, four. Four, and one that's always broken.
always broken.
And there's like a lot of staff. And you usually have to watch your class. So it's very infrequent that you have a moment to go out and go to the bathroom. And when you do, it's usually occupado. And so, like, I
But
don't
it's
know where I
never
was.
just occupado. What are you
It's like
hearing from the other
occupado.
side of the closed bathroom door? At least I hear all the time and I'm like, "Ma'am, sir,
Oh yeah,
what are you
people are on the
conducting business
phone.
in there? What is
Wait, can
this?"
I tell you one thing that happened to me? I'm so embarrassed about this, and I will
Was it
never
you?
speak of this. No, it was not me. No, I don't speak on the phone in the bathroom. So I wasn't paying attention one day, and um, I walked in the bathroom, and there was somebody on the toilet pooping on the phone. And I opened the door on this person, and I nearly lost it.
I have nothing to comment on that.
Wait, I'll tell you who it is, but then you have to take it away.
Who was it?
Um,
Of course it was. That makes so much sense. Makes so much
I was like,
freaking
ah.
sense.
And then we just ignored it and we've never spoken about it again. But like number
First of
one,
all,
lock your doors.
lock your doors. But second of all, you are at work. You're just like chilling there, like you're at home, like freaking playing Candy Crush on your
This
phone. What are you
person was
doing?
pooping while they were on the phone.
Oh, talking on the phone.
Yes. Like
Gross.
the fact that I didn't even hear that this
Gross.
person talking, like I was just like, oh.
Gross. Like, I don't even want to talk to anybody when I'm on the phone, let alone when I'm going to the bathroom. That just makes me so uncomfortable. I feel like I wouldn't even be able to relax enough to go. Is that too much
Ew.
information? That's just disgusting. Well,
Wait,
yeah,
have you
but
ever gone to the bathroom where there's like pee all over the place and like poop streaks all over?
yeah, I've stepped in the bathroom and there was like pee on the floor. And I don't understand how the mother F does pee get on the floor when you're an adult. That doesn't make any sense. And yeah, the poop thing, like I just don't like do multiple flushes, like stay in there until the job is complete. Like you have to clean it up. Like it shouldn't smell bad when you leave, shouldn't look bad when you leave. It should be nice and clean and ready to go for the next person. I would be mortified. I would never leave the
Literally
bathroom if I left
mortified.
anything in there because I'm always like the next person who sees me leave the bathroom, they're going to see or smell or whatever
Or
I
at
left
least
in
give the
there.
person a common courtesy, right? Like there
What
was
are you
this one
going
teacher
to say?
that I was dying laughing because I was next in line, and she comes out of the bathroom and she looks at me and just nods her head like,
Mhm.
basically saying like, I just took a crap and you probably want to wait or go to another bathroom first. And I
Yeah.
was like, you know what? I appreciate that. It's fine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah. And for those people that need to take a poo, let me give you a hint. Take a little bit of toilet paper and put it in the toilet first. That way your poop touches the toilet paper and not the bowl, and it won't streak. Okay.
Wow.
You're
What a
welcome.
great tip. What a
You're
great tip.
welcome.
Tips from Jessica. Very
About the
nice.
bathroom, how
About
to
how to
poop.
use the bathroom. It's kind of embarrassing that as adults, like that this is still occurring and it's pretty
Yeah.
insane.
Disgusting.
It is. It's super disgusting. So another thing is in addition to just leaving your excrement
Poop.
wherever and having it showing for the world to see. When I'm in the bathroom, I always, if the paper is running low or whatever, I take the time to like replace it. Like I never just like haphazardly throw the toilet paper like on the back of the toilet. Like you're in a public place. You're not at home. Like don't do this. And I find people do that. They'll put the toilet paper like on the back of the toilet seat or they'll put it like on
On
top of the
top of
empty toilet paper
that's
roll.
annoying. Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I'm just like, just
Come on.
take the time, like freaking
It's the
put it
same as any
away.
toilet. It has the spring in it.
It's
But
out
you
of
know what else
control.
is bad is like our toilet, I mean not our toilet, our garbage has like a lid on it. Some people after they finish washing their hands with their paper towel, they throw it as if the garbage is open in there, and then there's like a pile of
On top of the
toilet
lid.
paper on top of the lid. And I was like,
Why do
"Why
you
did you
do
do
that?
that? Just open it."
It's like the same premise of having your clothes and dropping them just next to your laundry basket. Like it kills me. Just put it in. Just put it inside and that's it.
What does it do to you? It drives me crazy. Sing it.
All right, you know what? I'm going to sing it. Our next topic, parents. We have nothing to say about parents. They're
Parents are
all
great.
amazing and we're just going to move right along.
We're going to keep
Very
this one short
very
because
short. Very short.
it's just got to be short. But I think all parents know our school hours,
Mhm.
knows what time we work because their children are there.
Mhm.
But there are a lot of parents that think that we work like off our hours, which I
Mhm.
mean, I'm guilty of it. I
So
kind of
guilty.
do. But like sometimes we're in a meeting at school and they don't stop talking. I'm like,
Right.
oh, I have to dismiss the kids. And they're like, oh, one more thing. Oh, one more thing. And then all of a sudden, I mean, school ends for us at 2:30. It's like almost 3. And I'm like, okay, like your child just got home from school. Like, I've got to go,
Yeah.
And I'm like, they have to respect the boundaries of
Yeah.
when we are working and not, they can't expect us to like
Yeah.
constantly be at their feet 24/7.
You can just tell though sometimes, and I think that's why we let it go, is like they haven't had adult interaction in some time.
Yes, that's
And I
true.
feel like sometimes we end up talking about things that aren't even in their children. And I'm like, lady, I can't talk to you about like The Bachelor. Like, I gotta go.
Busy. I'm busy. I gotta go. I gotta go.
You know what also kills me though that we've had a lot of it with talking about respect to time is like parents who show up like 40 minutes late to a meeting
Hmm.
and then think like you don't have to teach the class, that you're going to then take the meeting with them.
Yes. I'm like, you lost your time. I've got kids now.
They're like, "Well, I'm here." And I'm like, "That's amazing and wonderful, but you needed to be here 40 minutes ago when I purposely changed my schedule to not have children." I don't know what parents think we do during the day that
I'm
we're just
just
like,
free. We're just
we're just
free.
free. We're just free. Whenever you want, we're free.
Literally.
Something else, and I don't want to sound ungrateful, but I'm about to. It's
Go
the
ahead. Sound
it's
ungrateful.
the gifts.
That's a great gift you've gotten. I got toothpaste once. I mean, I guess I used it. So, I mean,
I've gotten like things that the parent might have wanted for themselves, which I know that that's something people say. You should always get a gift that you would want to receive. But like sometimes when you're just getting a gift to get it, just because you feel like you have to, it just takes the emotion out of it. Whereas some parents, I feel like they put thought into a gift.
they
Like
do.
we've
Yeah.
gotten some good gifts, and where like I think when you're a parent got us all like these adorable bags, like because we were always carrying like tons of
Yeah.
stuff
That were like personalized.
and they
That's
were
so
personalized.
cute.
It was so that was like to this day still one of my favorite gifts because she probably saw us walking around with like our
Or like 17 bags.
yeah, all of our like stop and shop bags and she was like, "No, I can do better than this." And it was awesome. It was perfect. And she's like, "Please stop carrying around like stop and shop bags."
Can I tell you one of the gifts I got? And I was like, oh my God. Because I had to pretend that I loved it. But one time I got this extremely, and it was extremely expensive because they said it was, and it was like
Okay.
$60, an ornament of a bear wearing a kimono because it reminded them of my culture, which I am not Japanese.
Even like lotions and
Mm, like
candles,
lotion
like
sets I don't use.
I feel
Yeah.
like it's so specific and like you never know what somebody's into, allergic to, like lotions,
Mhm.
candles don't do it.
And it's funny because it really does drive Sabria crazy because sometimes she gets these gifts and she leaves them in my room. She's like, I don't want
It's hor Here's the thing is I feel like I'm
it.
very like Marie Kondo, like decluttering my life. And sometimes when I get these gifts, I'm just like,
That's clutter.
I've gotten like like Barbie ornaments. I'm like, what about me made you think I wanted this Barbie ornament? Like there's again, I don't mean to sound ungrateful. It's just like when you go through the process of decluttering your home and stuff and you get these things, it's actually extremely stressful because then I don't know what to do with them and I feel horrible if I throw them out. So then I just leave them in Jess's room and now there's like tons of gifts that I don't want in Jess's room.
And sometimes I raffle them off to the kids. Just have to make sure it doesn't go home to the kid that gave it to you.
Here's advice to parents. Teachers will always shop at Target and they will always shop on Amazon. And most of
Mhm.
the time, they're shopping for your kids. So if you want to
Yes.
hook it up, just hook it up with a gift card.
Yeah.
That's what
When
I
they do
really
that, I'm
want to
like, oh,
see.
that was a good gift.
I
Yeah.
promise you, we're not buying a single thing for ourselves with that
A
gift
hundred
card.
percent. I
Promise you, it's
actually
not
usually
happening.
buy the stuff that I'm buying, like the crafts that I'm probably going to make for the parent.
Hook it up with a gift card.
All right. Next up, we've got our coworkers. All right, our coworkers, we narrowed it down to two things. Um, Sabria, why don't you take the first one because that definitely is very you.
So here's my gripe with coworkers, and it's kind of like what I alluded to before. When you talk about being close and like a family, a lot of times, at least in our school, it's a beautiful thing. We're always trying to raise money for various things. It's like when somebody dies, and then like we raise money to get them something,
Right,
or
like you collect money. Yeah.
right, you collect money to get them something. We've had a couple of teachers go through surgery. We collected money to like have food delivery. Like all of those things are amazing. But here's the thing, coworkers, is that we need to make sure that it's equally distributed, right? Like what
So wait,
really
before I have you
Go ahead.
continue,
Mhm.
even before you collect for this specific thing, like the people should know that we have a social committee
Right.
that collects in the beginning of the school year about $75 per person
Mhm.
to give gifts to these people
Right.
that need it, right? So like for example, if someone broke, I don't know,
A
if
hip.
someone in their if someone had to get a major surgery, we would send flowers or a basket from the social committee from the school. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, continue
Yes.
on.
So keeping that in mind, we are constantly in our emails, give us $5 for this. Let's have $5 for this. I mean, it was to the point one year where it was like so and so's kid graduated fifth grade. It was getting to be such a monetary burden. And I remember this happening when I was as a first year teacher. That was like one of my first boundaries that I set as I was like, no, I gave money for social committee. I'm not giving $5 for a fifth grader graduating into sixth grade. And here's why. My first or second year as a teacher, my grandmother passed away. I didn't get not one card. I didn't get not one set of flowers, nothing. I got nothing from the school. So here is where I say, if we're doing certain things like that, you need to make sure it's not just to your favorite teacher in fifth grade or to your favorite aide in the main office, you know what I mean? Who everybody knows. There needs to be a better effort made to include everybody. And I think that when that happened to me, I was like, I'm done. I give my dues, which I don't even know if I gave them this year, to be honest with you, but I have in the past, and I give my dues and I'm like, no, every time your kid moves up a grade, I'm not giving you $5. Like everybody's child moves up in fifth grade. And that's the thing too with you and I is we don't have children. So it's like, you're
Yeah, so
giving all
that's what
this
I was gonna
money.
say.
Yeah, go
Is
ahead.
that like, I mean, I'm thankful that we're healthy and I'm
Yes.
thankful that we're doing well. But the thing
Yes.
is, we don't have milestones. I'm okay, and thankfully people around me aren't, you know, but like, but that means that I'm not getting anything, and I will say also a couple years ago, my grandfather passed away, but it was over the summer.
Uh-huh.
So again, I didn't receive anything either
Mhm.
because that's when social committee like switches. But I'm like, like you're right. It is a big monetary burden,
Yeah.
honestly.
But it also feels like it's like the people who are loudest
Hmm.
about what they have or don't or what happened, and they're just very sherry showy people, they get the most, like squeaky wheel gets the oil kind of deal. And then people who are more private, they're kind of just like, well, you didn't buy
Hmm.
anything. I feel like we have a social committee for a reason.
Hmm.
Nobody should be getting more or less is how I
Yeah.
feel about it.
Let me
that's
tell you, when I was
that's
on social media, my door was knocked on a lot to send things. It was to the point where it was like, oh, this person is leaving. Maybe you should send them something. I was like, they're leaving our staff, but like, what? Why? Like, I
right.
don't understand.
Yeah, for everything, like, oh my god, she's getting her wisdom teeth pulled out. And I'm like, calm down. Everyone gets their wisdom teeth pulled out. Like it was to that point. Like there were certain things that would come to you and you were so gracious and so kind. And you were like, okay, I'll send out an email. But like
It's so awkward.
your child graduating high school, no. But there are some things that you feel very drawn to. Like people have hardships,
Mhm.
people have things, and everyone would just get like we're very giving, but like it was just getting to be too much. Give
Good
it
for
up.
you, though. I still give $5 to
I know.
every single person. So, I mean, there's that.
My boundary. That's my boundary.
Also about coworkers. This one is probably the first thing that had annoyed me my first year teaching, that really like it rubbed me the wrong way. And given I'm a special education teacher, I do have less children than other classes. But somebody with a bigger class passed my room when I was teaching. And at that time, it was my first year. I had 4 students at that time because we were just starting out, which by the end of the year, I think I had 7. So, and she goes, "Oh, must be nice. You want to
It
switch?"
wasn't just one person, I will say
Yeah,
to
I
you. It
did.
was
I will say I have
multiple.
it multiple times, but that was the first time I was like, I don't like that. And I was like,
Yeah.
girl, like, but even now, like, people will be like, oh my gosh, your class is so good. Why are they good?
Mhm.
Because who trained them?
Mhm.
Why are they this way?
Mhm.
Because of candy,
Yeah.
like,
No, it's true. I mean, and that's the thing too that I
wow, I
think is
clapped a lot. You know
missed.
what that was like? You
Huh.
drive me crazy.
And I think that when people say things like that, it kind of takes away from all of the hard work that you put into
Mhm.
making those children who they are as children, as independent, functional kids. And um, sure, it may be easier to attain and to work on in a small class, but that doesn't mean that your workload is less. Let me tell you something, when your kids are pushing into the bigger classes, there's a difference. There's a difference. And they're always like, well, they're not, the lowest of the pack here. These kids are right in the
Mhm.
middle. And we're like, yeah, there's a reason. There is a reason. So don't do that, y'all. Don't go into your 12 to 1 and specialized classes and tell these teachers that they have it easier because they have less children.
And I'm like, and you know what? I know all teachers have it tough. Every single person has their own struggles through teaching through doing something. I was like, let's celebrate like you being able to do something great, but like we don't need to sit here and compare whose life is
Yeah.
easier, whose life is better.
Listen, we are all for smaller class sizes, okay? And we
That's true.
understand that the class sizes are way too big
Lawmakers, come
right
on.
now. So,
Last up,
last,
last up.
last up, but certainly not least are the kiddos. Jessica, what's the thing that drives you the most crazy about those kids?
Let me tell you. Okay. I don't know where these kids are sometimes in space, on a cloud, but it's like I feel like I'm constantly on repeat, like I'm some broken record, no matter how many times I tell them. And I'm literally like in front of them, giving them a direction.
Mhm,
Sabria, go get your notebook. And they
mhm,
don't do it. They
mhm.
just stare as if I am just an empty soul. Is
It's a
it kind of
freaking
wild?
talent. It's a talent to be able to look through somebody when they're giving you a straight up direction. I don't know how they do it. I've gotten to the point where I'm just kind of like, I give my directions one time now and then you're done. If you didn't listen, better ask a friend. You know what it is too, is kids, I feel like are some teachers tend to turn kids into prompt dependent kids where they're just
Yes.
waiting for the next moment. They're waiting for the hand over the hand. They're waiting for somebody to tell them for the 50th time exactly what to do. And I feel like once you like stick them out there and they fail, they learn quick.
So I had this child that would not stop doing that. And it was like I gave him a direction, he ignored me. Whatever I did, he ignored me. And he just went about his business doing whatever the heck he wanted. And it was freaking rude and I was freaking annoyed and it drove me crazy. I just can't sleep. And so there was a birthday party where we had cupcakes and those are his favorite ever, especially they were chocolate with chocolate frosting. And I ignored him. I didn't give him one. And I just continued. I gave one to all the kids. And then I offered it to the teachers and I just ignored him. And then he's like, excuse me, monsieur, like I didn't get one. And I pretended like he wasn't there.
Mhm.
And then the kids were funny because they were like, oh, just tap her on the shoulder. Maybe she didn't hear you. Oh, maybe you need to talk louder. Just talk louder. And so he's like, hello, excuse me. And he was getting so pissed. And at that point, I turned around. I was like, how did it feel to get ignored like that? And he goes, I'm so mad. And I was like, so do you understand how I might feel when you're ignoring me? And he's like, oh. And he was kind of like, oh, this was a freaking
She
teachable
got
moment.
me.
That's
She
so
got me.
annoying. And then I was like, well, I hope that next time when you choose to not, when you choose to ignore me, think about how I might feel. Think about how you
Mm,
just felt right now.
mhm.
And, I mean, he still doesn't really listen sometimes, but I think I got my point across at that moment.
Another thing that totally drives us insane is the good old, I didn't do it. Like when we watch them do something. Can you think of a specific
I feel like
story?
that happened to you a lot.
Yeah. Like kids would just straight up like bully their friends in front of me. And then and then the bully would be like, ow, but the other kid like wasn't near them. And I'm like, he didn't touch you. Yes, he did. I'm like, I am
I
right
literally watched it.
here. I watched it. Well, you might have not seen it. I don't know if I've ever said it on this podcast, but it genuinely freaks me out when kids learn how to lie. And we see it happen because we have them in kindergarten
Mhm.
all the way through fifth. So, like, I know it's a normal thing, to do as they age and to test, but I hate it. So I feel like that's like one of those things that we try to instill in them early, like being
Mhm.
honest and truthful. But then we tend to overteach it, right? And then they tend to say things like, wow, you're fat. Wow, you look really old. And we're like, that's one of the things that drives me
Yeah,
insane is
it
the lying.
literally drives you crazy because
Yeah,
it's every single time something like that happens, you're like, social skills, we're doing this. We're
I
talking about
know.
this. And I'm like, Sabria, calm
Yeah.
down. And you're like, no, no, I won't let it
It
go. I
bothers
won't let it
me.
go.
Well, you know what it is too, is when you work with more severe populations too, is if you don't teach that, kids go home saying things like, oh my gosh, yes, this happened too. Didn't a
Mhm.
kid go home and say, you like stomped on?
Mhm. Mhm.
But this is what I'm talking about. Like kids will go home and say these wild things that we did, and
Like
it
we
can
were
be
bullying him.
dangerous.
Mhm.
Yeah, like it can be a terrifying thing and for parents too. So that's why we're always very open and constant communication with parents. I mean, our parents would know we would never stomp on our children, but one of our kids said that you did. Thank goodness there was like 37 adults around. Like we were like, where did this come from? This is what I'm saying. The lying thing. That's why, because things
I
like
think
that
you were also
happen.
scarred from like, one child saying, "Oh, Miss Santos put me in jail," and would tell.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, I was definitely nervous with that student, what he would say. It wasn't like realistic, but I was always in the back of my mind concerned, like, what is he going to say? Like, oh, Miss Santos screamed at me when I would be stern with him. And like, that was
Mhm.
something I always was conscious about, I feel like, because it makes you nervous, especially
Yeah,
the way parents are these days,
100%.
kids going home saying these things when really it's about discipline and setting boundaries and knowing respect. But a kid could go home and just be like, Miss Santos was screaming at me when I told him that he couldn't eat my pencils or something. Like it's just out of control. And
And like, why would we
yeah,
seek you out to lie to you about something?
I don't know what it's like being a parent. Like I get that there's like that safety issue, but at the same time, a majority of teachers, in my opinion, at least in our school, would never do something like that. So when kids lie because they know their parents will believe them, it's like that drives me crazy. But also it's like terrifying. It drives me scared.
You know what drives me crazy? The
Hmm.
fact that we don't know what we're going to talk about next week.
Boom. We have no idea. It's going to be a surprise, ladies and gentlemen.
There's no
It's going to be
teaser
a surprise.
here.
There's no
We're the only
teaser
tease
today.
here.
We're filming mad late today. You're not
I
even getting
know
an episode this week. It's just,
we're on end of school year like life
yeah,
here.
yeah. We're going to get it together. I mean, it's fine. We needed a break. We got a break. We're back. This was a great episode, though. I had so much fun telling everyone what drives us crazy.
But also, like, if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to leave a comment. We love to hear from you guys, even on our Instagrams, DM us. We just love to talk. Like, I mean, I don't really like to talk like really in real life, but like I really like to talk on social media.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's episode. We hope to see you next time where it's going to be a surprise what we're talking about. We have not one clue, haven't planned it. We're on end of the year teacher brain, and we hope you will just vibe with us. Meet us here next week. It's going to be a surprise. So, again, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next time.